This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.
All right. Welcome. Welcome back. Man, yesterday felt like a weekend. I don't know about you guys. Yesterday felt like a weekend to me. Morning, everyone. You like the, seems like people like the song. It's a good song. Gets you going. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. How was golf? Golf was good. Could have played a little bit better. I shot a 98, so it's not my best. It's okay. It's not great. Hard course, though. We went out on a pretty hard course. It's called Old Cypress. If anyone knows the Naples area, Old Cypress is a pretty nice club and hard course. But, yeah, it was a good time. Trade TB went live yesterday. I mean, not much to go live about. But TB, there you go. Very nice. ARM, yeah, ARM is crazy. It's not good. 98's not a good score, but Lee Trevino is our, I guess, our local golf resident. Our local golf pro. That sucks. I play a lot of hard courses. Very nicely. Glad I can make you feel better about yourself, my friend. Shot 87. That's sick golf. That's good. That's really good. Shooting an 87. That's legit. That's a legit golfer right there. Shooting 87 is pretty good stuff. Under 90 is not an easy feat. Shot at 98 too, Chef. Yeah, I'm right around there. My good days are low 90s, 90, 91, 92. I think my best score was a 91. So, it's a good time. hope you guys had a good day as well. Hope you had a good Wednesday off. Did not really enjoy. I don't really like. I thought I'd like the midweek vacation. We talked about having the Wednesdays off. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. I'd rather just not. I'd rather stay in the work mode, in the grind mode all week than have a midweek break. All right. So today, we got our gap up. We got our gap up on the market. We got our gap up on a lot of semiconductors. We got our gap up on Nvidia, TSM, MU. So all those major semis that just keep moving higher, definitely gapped up this morning, and we're going to want a little bit of pullback. All right, we're going to want some pullbacks to this key Nasdaq level, 20,270, which I'm looking at right now in front of my charts. Some nice ES pullback levels and some nice new potential long opportunities. That's what happened on Tuesday. All right, Tuesday we had pullbacks that created long opportunities, and we took those longs on Tuesday, which was very nice. And let's look for the same thing, right? We don't need to chase. You saw on Tuesday, we saw upside in the pre-market, which resulted in downside intraday. That created that next opportunity. I think you will continue to find those intraday pullback opportunities. At least I will continue to think that way, all right? I will continue to keep that in my mind. I want pullbacks to create longs. I do not need to chase. I want to look for that opportunity if we move lower. That's going to be the mindset that I continue to have. One, to protect myself from getting over greedy, from getting overzealous, to getting too excited about upside, right? That'll keep me from doing that. And it'll also protect me from, just putting myself in a situation that is overextended. So whether that's good or bad, whether you agree or don't agree, at the end of the day, that'll be a protective mindset, and I want to stay protective in my short-term, riskier options trading. Now, of course, the long-term portfolio is always in that background, and I hope you guys have, any of you that have been listening to this live stream for the last 3 years now almost, we've non-stopped from the day one, have talked about investing in the stock market long-term. That is something you guys know that I always talk about. And if you started at any point, right, because we're at all-time high. So if you started at any point before today, you are green, right? If you started investing at any point before today, you should be green on your portfolio with the market at all-time high. So congratulations to those that stick to that long-term game, because you are absolutely getting paid off. The long-term portfolio has continued to compound very aggressively. And congratulations to those that did that. How many mulligans? No mulligans, man. I play when sometimes you go out and you have fun and you just say whatever. But yesterday was one of those, hey, let's keep a real score here. Let's see what we actually get. So no mulligans yesterday. That was a true 98, which, you know what? I'm happy about. So I think maybe my trading's a little bit worse than my golf. My trading's a little bit better than my golf. Unless you bought GameStop. Yeah, of course, hamster. Of course. All right. Let's get started. If you guys could, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got a few things to be watching today on the economic. We just have that unemployment data. I can give you guys a quick update on M1. Some people were asking me about my M1 portfolio. Someone asked me over the weekend, so I'm just going to go ahead and show it now. We'll go ahead and do a little quick update on the M1 portfolio. Show you guys, I actually did some changes to the portfolio, so I figured I would share it with you. So some things that I did change here on the portfolio is I am selling pretty much all my sort of smaller positions, and I'm just wading into winners. That's really what I'm doing here. So I took profits on my Caterpillar, on my CCJ trade, and I'm basically putting that money into Taiwan Semiconductors, into Nvidia, into Microsoft were some of the hot ones that I like. I put a little bit more into AMD on this pullback. So I'm just I'm sort of consolidating how many stocks I have in this portfolio, inherently making it riskier. Right, this is definitely a risky portfolio. I want to make sure you guys understand that. This is a individual account, right? This is not my SEP IRA. This is not my other. I have two SEP IRAs, one with M1, one with E-Trade. Those have a much more conservative approach, but this is sort of my aggressive investing account, which I will continue to stay aggressive in because of my age and because of just growth potential, which I am comfortable with taking. You have to, of course, manage your portfolio as you please, but I'm on a little bit of a more aggressive path here on this account. But you can see the recent trend, right? Look at this curve since April, right? Since April of right around April 19th. Look at the upside move on this account. So around 122,000 in April on April 22nd, and we are now at 182,000. So almost $60,000 in 2 months, right? In 2 months. So, yeah. Not much diversification. No, there's not. Golf nut. I would agree, right? I mean, it's tech. It's a tech portfolio. It's Nvidia, Tesla, TSM, Apple, HIMS, AMD, Microsoft, Google, Netflix, AbbVie, Shopify. That's really it, right? My diversification is elsewhere. That is in my SEP, right? You can see my SEP IRA is basically just the ETFs and Tesla, a little dip buy on Tesla. So this is where a lot of my diversification comes from. Yeah, I mean, I literally just said that there's not a lot of diversification here, and it's a risky portfolio. I understand that, guys. Okay, I get it. I'm not blind to the fact. Okay, if you know what you're doing, if you understand what you're looking at, then you understand what you're playing with, what monster you're playing with. I get it, right? I understand. So the growth will offset, right? If we pull back from this market, that's fine. But I know the growth has been, my undiversified portfolio has done nothing but go up from left to right. So I'm happy with it. It's an aggressive portfolio, but I just figured I'd share that with you guys. Let you know what I have. All right? So that's that. That's my portfolio. All right? All right. So a little update there. Figured I'd share it with you. It's been a crazy ride on some of these semiconductor names, and I will continue to buy them. And that's just the way that's what I've always believed in, those semis, and it's been great. So Thursday, today, you guys can see right here, unemployment claims right there. That is today at 8:30. You guys can see that right there. That's going to be something interesting to watch. There's no stop losses on long-term portfolios. No. Guys, I'll say this one more time. You can't manage a long-term portfolio and be worried about the market pulling back, right? That money in that account is money that money that you have to be investing with that you can afford to lose, right? That's how a long-term portfolio is. I was told countless times, I'm telling you, and then this is the honest truth, countless times I was told to sell Nvidia at $500. Countless times I had people saying, sell Nvidia at 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Sell it. There's a bubble. It's going to pop. Sell Nvidia. Sell these semis. It's too risky, right? It's just the nonstop, trying to predict that things are overextended. Things will not go higher, and they continue to go higher. So if Nvidia goes in half, right, that is still above where people were trying to sell their long-term portfolio, right? If you sold Nvidia at 500 and it goes down 50%, it's still above where you sold Nvidia at 500, right? So even if Nvidia pulls back from here, if you just continue to maintain it, it's 50% lower from right now. Is still well above 500, well above 600 on Nvidia, right? Pre-split. So Not selling it, right? Not selling it. Just continuing to own that company. So that's what you got. If you're gonna create a long-term portfolio, create a long-term portfolio. Don't manage it with emotion, right? Don't manage it with emotion. Manage it with money and invest long-term. Continue to dollar cost average, and who knows where it is in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. That's the goal of a long-term portfolio. A long-term portfolio is not try to pick the tops, sell when things go up, right? And then not have any long-term investments, right? You just continue to sort of compound those gains. That's what I truly believe. All right. So anyways, let's move on to today's technicals. We're sort of behind schedule already, but I wanted to share that long-term portfolio with you. So Thursday today, unemployment claims. That's about it on the economic side. Building permits. You got a few other things sort of baked in there at 8:30, but unemployment claims is the big one there. You guys can see right here. Friday, manufacturing PMI, services PMI. You can see right there. That is tomorrow, and then we end the week, right? We end the week, even if it goes down to 10. I mean, Java, give me a break, man. You've already commented stupid stuff on my YouTube videos. You still come here. Oh, man. All right, let's start. So, Nasdaq futures. Right here. You guys can see right here. This little double top around that 20,270. That is something I will be watching today, right? You can see right here the Nasdaq futures. A little bit of a double top there, right? We had this high here from Monday of this week. We had that high there from that retail sales data on Tuesday of this week. You can see right here, 20,270, 20,270. Those are two major double top highs on the Nasdaq futures from Monday, Tuesday. And so today, I'm going to look to see, do we hold that, right? Do we hold that? That is going to be a key thing to be watching. So you can see that was a rejection spot here on the Wednesday futures market. You can see we did squeeze above that this morning. So I'm going to be looking to see, hey, does the Nasdaq try to hold 20,270, right? Do you have a hold of that level? You can see right here, right there, right there. Do we hold above that 20,270? That is going to be a very interesting level to watch today. If we do hold this level, I definitely am interested to see if that turns into a pullback long, right? Does that turn into my long opportunity today off 20,270? That is definitely going to be a spot I am watching today. If we get below that level today, a little bit cautious of maybe some deeper pullbacks, right? If we do get under that 20,270, is there a deeper pullback that I need to be looking for? That would be right here. That would be this level, 20,220, 20,218. That is the level that rejected intraday on Tuesday 2 times, right? You can see right here. Right here on Monday, we had a rejection of 20,220. And on Tuesday, we had a double top rejection of 20,220. And you can see in the futures market on Wednesday, yesterday, we had some nice holds above that level. So what I'll be looking for, if we do break below this 20,270 here, I will be watching right here. So let me zoom in on this 5-minute chart over Monday, Tuesday. Look at this right here. See this? See this? You see this? And you see this, right? This was a tough level for the Nasdaq to get above previously. So what I'll look for, right, if we do not hold right here, at the 270, I will be looking for the 220. That would be my next pullback long, right? So here, if we break under here, I'll watch the 220, right? Those are going to be my two levels right there. Now, we do need to sort of understand one thing here in terms of like market structure. If we do get back below this 270, you are technically back below the double top highs from Monday and Tuesday. So we do need to be a little bit cautious of the Nasdaq. If it does fail below that 270 level, you technically are back below a double top high, which could cause a little bit of pressure to the downside, right? To be aware of. We just need to understand that. So for the most bullish situation today, right? The most bullish situation, bar none, right? The best thing that could happen for the bulls today is that you just hold over this 270. If you see that, this market's going to continue to move higher. If you do break below it, a little bit of caution. You could watch the next pullback level at 220, but then what do you have to be careful of at that point? Right? At that point, if you do long the 270, if you do long the 220 today, then you do have to be careful of this coming back higher and then rejecting that 270 level. Right? That is something you need to be careful of. Right? If you do end up longing down at the 220 today, then you are longing back into a double top high, which could be a little bit of a concern for upside continuation. Okay? So, best bullish situation would be a little morning pullback, right? Continuation or sort of consolidation at the 270, which results in that next upside move. If not, let's watch the 220. If we break that, we move down to the 160. And then, of course, that sort of low from Tuesday at 120. All right? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys there on the Nasdaq futures. Same thing on the QQQ, right? Right here. You can see it very clearly. QQQ had that high on Monday. It had that Tuesday retail sales high right there, and that was at 487, okay? Most bullish situation on the QQQ today would be a maintain of 487 and then a continuation and hold of that level. Can we get a hold over 487 on the Qs? That'll definitely be something I look for today. Now, if you break below 487 on the Qs, you probably move in for that gap fill, right? And where is the gap? It's right here. This is sort of a gap up. You could say it's a gap up. You maybe could say it's not. It depends on if you believe that Wednesday futures market is a gap or not on the Qs. If you go to the daily chart, you can see they did, it does print that Wednesday. I think that's Tuesday. So technically, yes, there will be a gap on this chart today on the daily chart, right here. So if you look at this on the 30-minute, this is sort of a gap right here that could fill on the Qs back to that 485.50. All right, so let's go back to the 15-minute chart. That's if you break below the 487. This right here is technically a gap on the QQQ from 487 to 485.50. That's Tuesday's close right around that 485.50. So I'm saying if you move under 487 today and you do see a move and rejection under it, you might need the gap fill, right, back down to that 485.50, which could be a very nice long opportunity. So I will definitely watch that 485.50. I will definitely watch these lows that held that 484. And of course, we're going to be watching the 487. Okay? But the same thing applies, right? If we break under 487, then you need to know, hey, this could be a double top turning back into a rejection point, and maybe there is some more weakness that comes in, maybe some more pullback on this market, back down towards that 485.50. Okay? So let's keep an eye on that. Those are some key levels to be watching there. S&P 500. What a beautiful hold this is on the ES. What a beautiful technical hold. What a beautiful break and retest hold here. You guys can see we had those highs on the ES at 55.60. We had those highs come in on Tuesday at 55.60. We could not get above it, right? So we basically double topped on Tuesday and Monday, 1 and 2, right? Little double top at 55.60. And you can see, look at this sort of Wednesday and this early morning futures market right above 55.60. Look at how clear that thing just said, hey, I'm going to get over the previous highs and I'm going to hold above them, right? And that's exactly what happened here. Double top high Monday, Tuesday, turning into a very clear low all Wednesday's futures market, right? And into this morning. Very, very clear at 55.60. So where would I really like to be long, guys? Of course, I would rather be looking for longs right here, right? That would be the really comfortable spot to be watching for that pullback long opportunity. If this market wants to give back this little upside move from this morning, if I can get that pullback back towards that Monday, Tuesday high, back towards this 55.60 demand, that would definitely be the spot that I would look for that more confident long entry down at 55.60. Now, in the short term, there is this little level that is sort of, continuing to hold in the pre-market here, and that's right here at 55.75. You can see right here, 55.75 and 55.75. I don't really trust it, to be quite honest, right? I have a level there, but I'm not trusting it that strong today. Why? Because it's just sort of a 5-minute short-term level that's been created. It's not a level that's been established over multiple days, right? This is a level that has been established over multiple days. This was a previous rejection into a very clear support and been tested multiple times here, right? Tested here, tested here, tested, right? It's been tested. This level has been tested here, twice. Could be an interesting spot, but I trust this a lot more back at the 55.60. So just know that. If we go back to the 15-minute chart, we can see under 55.60, we have that 55.50, which very nicely held. If we go to the 5-minute chart on Tuesday, look at how nice this was on Tuesday. So we go to this Tuesday action. Look at this late day Tuesday action right here at 55.60. 55.50. 55.50 holds. 55.50 holds. Once again, holding 55.50, right? So that's a nice level there on the ES. And so if we do get a pullback, maybe a deeper pullback here, that 55.50 is definitely a spot to watch on that pullback. On Tuesday, if you guys were part of the group, you know that we longed the SPY off 55.40. We longed the ES, we longed the SPY off 55.40, and that was a very nice hold as well. So, few levels to watch to the downside, right? You can see right here, 55.60, 55.50, 55.40, pretty much every 10 points on the ES. You do have some areas to watch. 55.75 is sort of that short-term level, but I really do not like, I don't love it, right? I don't love it. I'm not going to look to really long this 55.70 here. I would rather get that deeper and more lucrative pullback, I believe, towards 55.60. At least that's my mindset right now. Golf Nut, appreciate that. $5 donation. GG's Golf Nut. That'll be a very nice, maybe one Pro V1 that I'll lose into the woods. But I'm just kidding. Golf Nut, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So 55.75, 55.60, 55.50, some levels to watch there. SPY, you guys can see right here. Here's the SPY. Where's really the level I want to see us come back down to? It's 548.50 right here, right? 548.50, 548.50. That's going to be the level I want to see. That's going to be the pullback I want to look for. This is all a gap up, right? You can see this is a gap up here on the futures or on the SPY ETF. I would want that gap to fill, and then I would want to see if this thing can curl right back off of that 548.50. So that's really my level, 548.50 today on the SPY. That lines up beautifully with the 55.60 on the ES, right? 55.60 on the ES lines up with that SPY, 548.50 right here. That would be a beauty if we can get that. We have to see if we will. I don't know if we will, but that could be something to watch. The level that's holding right now is 550 on the SPY. So you guys can see right here, that 550 spot is attempting to hold. That's something to be watching, right? 550, 550, something to be watching there. Do I trust it? You can monitor it. It's going to come down to how you monitor that intraday action. If we just start to hold here and see some opportunity, then maybe that 550 is that level to watch. But man, would I feel a whole lot more confident down at that 548.50. All right. Other thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of, man. There's two ways to think of this, right? Or I'm trying to say this the right way, but no one, including myself, and no one that's bullish here is just blind to the fact that this is overextended, right? I think everyone can easily say, hey, this is a pretty extended SPY. This is a pretty extended ES. This is pretty much a straight up move here, right? Look at this move, right? There's no I don't think anyone can sit here and say, hey, this is not a overextended move, right? I would never battle that argument. I could not disagree with someone that says, hey, this is an overextended move. Yes, I would agree with you. It is, right? It's well over the 20 SMA, right? It's been straight up over the last few days. I think the QQQ has like 9 straight green days or something along those lines. A little bit of a red day here, but a very, very extended move. No one can argue that it's not. But here's the thing, right? Here's the problem. I mean, let's look back for a second and just look at how beautiful this break and retest of previous all-time highs was. If you guys remember us watching this, look at how perfect that was for a second. Let's just take a quick Ed Bassmaster. Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? All right, look at that. I mean, previous double top highs at 450. Look at how that held. Look at the reaction off that. Just a beauty. Here's the problem, right? This is where it gets to become a problem for a lot of people, for a lot of traders. They will not. They will start to use that it's overextended mindset into I have to short the market. Okay, that is not what we're saying here, right? Yes, it's overextended, but if it's above these levels, you can't just come into today and say I'm shorting the market. And if you have done that, then you've lost, right? So it's just the matter of fact. It's an extended market. No one can disagree with that, but your levels are holding. Your key levels on the intraday are holding. You have to continue to trade this thing short term. The opportunities that's in front of you, you have to take, and you can't be against the trend and some of these demand levels. It just doesn't work. So you just have to understand that, right? Yes, it's extended. I would never battle that argument. I would agree with you if you thought that way. But how do you short this, right? How do you short this market when it just continues to hold these demands, right? You held that 55.40 Tuesday. You got above that 55.50. You're holding the 55.60. And even right now, you're holding the 55.75, right? The level we just talked about, look at the hold that's coming in off 55.75 right now. So these levels continue to hold. You got to continue to trade off them. There will be a day where the market starts to slip and gives us some pullbacks, but until then, we got to continue to ride this wave if we want to be intraday traders, right? If you want to be an intraday trader and you want to take advantage of these short-term moves, that's what you're going to have to do. All right? All right, so let's take a second real quick. We got the economic data coming out. 657 likes. Looks like we're in for a nice ad here, but I'll wait for the data to come out. Let's see. Unemployment claims just came out. Let's see what the market responds. Let's see what it reacts. Okay, little up, little down. I would like for this to drive this market lower. That would be nice. That would be nice if this market could drive lower off this data down into our demand. But right now, looks like we're sort of holding up, right? Just a sort of a maintain going on here. Nasdaq 20,270, still just sitting there. Really not much of a reaction here on the unemployment claims. Yeah. So looks like we are maintaining. 238 versus 235. Let me go into the data here. Let me get the numbers for us. Jobless claims 238 versus 235. Building permits down 3.8% versus an estimated of 0.7. So building permits, a lot less building, right? A lot less people building homes. That is definitely clear there at minus 3.8 versus estimations of up 0.7. So that's a pretty big, pretty decent drop on the building permits. Interesting, right? Interesting. Housing starts down 5.5% versus 0.7. So that's, very interesting as well. Housing starts down 5.5. Building permits down 0.38. So definitely a little bit of, I guess you could say, weakness on people building homes and getting permits, pulling permits. Very clear there. Jobless claims 238 versus 235. All right. It's actually something I need to be watching more because I personally myself am considering getting into some real estate. So it's something I have been watching. How does that affect house prices, et cetera, et cetera? So interesting data point there. If you are someone that's in real estate or, interested in maybe buying a home or building a home, it's an interesting number to be monitoring there. Yeah, I think I still like the opportunity of this moving lower towards 60, right? I'm not going to really trust this gap up so much today, guys. Here's the way I think about it, right? If I don't trust this gap up, if I come into today and make myself wait for something like a 55-60 pullback, there's one or two options, right? It's either one, I miss out on this thing going straight up, which is unfortunate, but I have the long-term portfolio, right? So there's a double-edged sword there. Yeah, maybe I'll miss this if this thing just rockets off open and I don't find an entry. So be it, right? Maybe I don't make any money in my options account today. Maybe I miss out on some opportunities. But what do I have in the background? I mean, that'll just be fantastic for the long-term portfolio. So great, right? Who cares? If we get the pullback, then I can find those short-term entries, right? And I can potentially get a better entry point on long. So I think, I think coming in that way, especially when you have that long-term working for you, I think it's a great way to look at the markets, right? Require pullbacks on short-term trades, require better entries on short-term trades. If you don't get them, soak up the win, soak up the gains on the long-term portfolio. And that's sort of how my mindset will continue to be in this upside move, okay? All right, let's get it started into the stocks. Let's look at some stocks. It looks like you are getting a little bit of a pullback here, which would be nice. You can see ES slightly weak after that data. And so let's see if we can get that drive lower towards that 55.60 today. That would be something to look for. All right, Tesla. Very clear level here on Tesla today, guys. And if you can't get above it, Tesla stays weak, okay? Or at least just consolidates. You got to get above 186.50. You have to, right? You have to. You can't long Tesla today unless it's above that 186.50. I would not want to long into these rejection spots that we have clearly seen on Tesla. So be careful right here. 186.50 could absolutely be a fading level on Tesla today. This could be, right? You failed that 190, right? And you're failing below that 186.50. You do not want to long this thing into 186.50. If you can get above 186.50, then I think you can spark this thing up again. But you got to get above this level for me, okay? That's going to be a crucial level for me today on Tesla. If we don't get above it, I'm not interested in longs. The only spot I would be interested in maybe scalping longs would be back down at 182, right? 182, 182, 182. If we can get a pullback, maybe we look for that, right? Back at that 182. But if we're not near that 182 and we're just sort of floating up here, that is not a long entry for me. All right, so 182 is going to be the level to watch for me on Tesla. Definitely watching that. If you drop that, I don't like it. You probably trade back down to that 120 SMA, right? Maybe back down to that 178 zone is where the next move would come down into, right down into there. Okay, so 186.50 looks very tough. Be careful there on Tesla today, please. That's a very important rejection level. If you get above it, you can possibly spark this higher and then watch that 190. All right. Nvidia. Man. Just a monster. I mean, Nvidia is already at $140. This is technically $1,400 pre-split. This thing is still riding. It's still grinding. And you're on a major gap up this morning. What happened to Nicola? What happened to Nicola this morning? Reverse stock split. Oh, boy. Reverse stock split for Nicola. That doesn't look good. Anyways, Nvidia, gap up, right? Big gap up. You got to fill it for me, right? For me, that's got to fill. It may not. It looks like Nvidia is on an absolute heater here. But this has got to be where I look for the opportunities today. That's just how I will approach today. If this does not happen, I will ride my I think now up to almost 500 shares of Nvidia. I'll ride it, and I will not touch it. If this thing just wants to rocket again, another 2, 3, 4%, so be it. I'll soak up the gains with the long-term portfolio. If we get a pullback, right, then I will look for that pullback long opportunity. I want this pullback. I want the gap fill. That's just how it's going to be. 136.30 right there, 136.30. That's going to be the level I want to see, right? I want to see if this thing can pull back, give me that long entry, and see if I can get that curl back higher. If not, this thing rockets higher, and I just let it be. The highs are very clear here around this 141, so be careful of 141. If you do long this thing today in the short term, you could, right? There is still another trade here. You could look for the hold above this high at 141. You just have to know in the back of your mind that you are longing after an extended gap up move, right? If you push higher over 141, right, you can see right there. That could be an interesting long, right? That can be an interesting long over that 141 area right here, right there, right there. Can you get a nice hold above that? That could be something to watch. You just have to know you're sort of you're trading off an extended move here already. I would be so much more comfortable if I saw something like this, right? That would really be nice. So that's Nvidia today. You can see right here on Monday, Tuesday, there was a very clear flip that caused the upside move. You can see right here, right there. Look at that. I mean, look at that right there. Previous Monday highs at that 132.60, and look at that hold over that level on Tuesday. That is a beauty, right? You maintained above that 132.60. You maintained above that previous high from Monday, and look at how that turned into a long on Tuesday. Absolutely beautiful. Very nice on Nvidia. Structure holds, and very nice upside continuation. All right. Guys, I mean, I'm not going to get into this now because we don't have time for it, but I just don't quite understand the constant concerns about Nvidia moving lower, right? Like, I don't get it. Are we invested with money that we can't afford a 2% pullback? Are we that worried about Nvidia pulling back 5-10%? Right? Is it that much of a concern? Are we that over leveraged? Are we that scared that this is going to happen? No, you shouldn't be, right? I don't quite get it. I think people just invest with money that they just can't, it's just too emotional, man. Guys, if Nvidia pulls back 10%, my life is not going to end. I'm not scared of my long-term investment pulling back. If it does, I'll look for more opportunities to long it, right? It's like, come on, guys, right? We can't be that scared of that. We can't be scared about the market pulling back. It's part of what the market will do. It will happen at some point, and if it does, look for where those opportunities arise, okay? It's just what's going to happen. It will pull back. We don't have to be scared of it. We have to stay, in a clear mindset. Look for the opportunities. If it pulls back, play it. Look for those new longs. Why be so scared of this happening in the market? If you are scared of that happening in the market, you are most likely just way over leveraged, right? Way over leveraged. And yeah, I mean, people buying for options that expire soon, right? Java, you're right, man. And it's just, you're putting yourself in these situations that you're putting yourself in these stressful and these precarious situations that are just unnecessary, right? There's no situation that I put myself in here that makes me lose a lot of money if the market pulls back. Just never, right? And a lot of money to what you're comfortable with, right? If the market pulls back, I'm comfortable with what I hold. I'm comfortable with my long-term investments. I'm comfortable with what I'm holding in options portfolios. I'm comfortable in the positions that I'm in. Make sure you can say that, right? Make sure you can say that. That's why I talk about, the potential of pullbacks on this market. You have to know we're overextended. You have to know where you are, and you're not going to just say, hey, we're so overextended, I'm putting my life savings in Nvidia up here, right? That's not what we're doing. We're staying comfortable, and if the market does pull back from this point, we let it pull back and we find new opportunities. Right? That's it. So, anyways, AMD 158, you guys can see right here. AMD, again, just a weak name, and broke under a major level on Tuesday. Look at that break under that level on Tuesday. Can it get back over 158? That's going to be the question. Or does it just fade here, right? Is this just an AMD fade again off 158? That's going to be the level to watch. Watch 158. That's going to be big. Keep an eye on that level today. Not that interested in AMD. Maybe if AMD can reclaim back above and really start to heat up, maybe something's there. But for now, AMD 158, man, that's going to be a big level to watch. I'm just going to set an alert there and see if AMD does get back above it today. Let's go into some of these semiconductors that have just been red hot. TSM, another gap up here. I would like a pullback, right? I'd like a pullback. That would really be nice. Where would I like my pullback to? Right here. This is it. 178.70, right? 178.70. Previous highs, lows. Look at that hold there on Tuesday. Look at the gap up off that 178.70. Let's keep an eye on that level, right? If we get a pullback, can we get a long off that 178.70? That is definitely a level I'm watching. I do not like this gap up. I do not like longing TSM in the short term with this gap up here, right? That's not really what I want to see. So what would I want to see? I want to see that come back down, right? Come back down, give me a better opportunity back at that 178.70. I don't like longing also back into this 185.50, 184.50, right? Previous high, you can see it failed here. This could fail again today. I don't like the longs up into that 184.50 area. So for me, I want that pullback. If TSM's dropping today, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, the market's tanking, right? Oh my God, TSM is down 1%, 2%. That's not the mindset. The mindset is, okay, good. This is a good pullback. This is a gap fill pullback. Let's see where these levels start to come in. 178.70. Then one below that is 176, right here. 176 would be my next level to watch underneath that one. So I will watch for those pullback longs. 178.70, 176, right? Those two spots are definitely some things that I'll be watching. Qualcomm, a little bit of a double top here up at this 231. Looks pretty heavy. Don't really like that long there on Qualcomm into that level. You can clearly see that 231 level up there that is rejecting, right? Very clear up here. I would look for this pullback, which I don't love, but I will watch that 224 here. I would really like this right here, 218. The reason I don't like 224 is because look at this move on Monday. This was a pretty much straight up move on Monday, right? Straight up move. I don't love it. I would be much more comfortable if we pulled back and retested that 218, right? So a little bit extended here on Qualcomm, 224, right? 218 would be the two levels I'm watching. I really don't like longing back into that 231, all right? Let's go to MU. This thing has been very nice as well. Some levels that I would look for today. Yeah, I don't like how this is sort of rejecting up here, 157.50. You can see right there. I'll turn that red later in the day. Not now. I don't have time. You can see right here, 157.50, right? You're having a little bit of a double top right there. Very clear. Where would I want this coming back down to? I would look for this 152.70, right? 152.70 would be a nice spot there. Maybe the gap fill, which is right here at 155, right? We can watch that gap fill level. You have a little gap fill at 155 right here. Right there, you see that gap up on MU. So I would look for that 155 pullback. I would look for that 152.70 pullback. Two pullback levels I'd be watching, okay? You could, like I said with Nvidia, you could look for that break and hold above the all-time highs. That is very much a possible trade as well. You just have to know that you're trading on an extended move. Let's go to ARM. ARM broke over the all-time highs. You can see, look at this. Look at that right there. Very nice. See this high from Friday of last week? Look at what ARM did there on Tuesday. That is sick stuff on ARM, right? You can see we had a previous spot that we could not get above at 166.50. And look at what ARM did at that level on Tuesday. Look at how beautiful that was right there. Right above that Friday high. That is really nice stuff on ARM. So, where do you want this back to? It's very clear, right? Where do you want this back to? Bam. Right there, right? If you can get that back to that 166.50, that is definitely something I'd be watching. If you fail back below that 166.50, no bueno, right? No bueno. You're turning that back into a rejection point. That's not good. So, what's the key level? 166.50. That's where you want your decisions to be made. SMCI, monster, and probably the break and retest candidate of the month, right? We should do award ceremonies for the best break and retests out there. Look at this awesome hold on Tuesday. It really doesn't quite get much prettier than this one. Double top high from Thursday, Friday of last week into a double bottom low from Monday, Tuesday. That is awesome stuff, right? Previous rejection points on SMCI here at 880, turning into a hold level on Monday and a springboard level on Tuesday off 880. Absolutely beautiful there. Where do you want to see this come back down to, right? You want to see that next retest entry point. That, I believe, is at 930. That is right here at 930. So what I would want to see is this right here, right? Give me that next pullback, right? The pullback into the previous demand. That is for me at 930. I would want to see this for my next entry point on SMCI back at 930. 970 is a monster level. All right, let's just make sure we are aware of that. If we go to the daily chart, we can see that 970 spot. Look at that double top at 970. Be careful up here at 970. If you get above 970, that could really be where SMCI starts to get exciting. Okay, so 970, big watch SMCI today. Pull back to 930 would be nice. I want to go to Microsoft real quick because I think Microsoft has a very, very interesting setup here today. I am definitely watching Microsoft today, and here is why. You can see right here, we have a very clear previous high on Microsoft at 443.40, 444. You have a 1, 2, 3 triple top at 443.40. If we can get a pullback to that level, this is absolutely something I'll be watching, right? This would be a structured long entry. Right, this is your structure, right, previously. This is your new structure. So where do I want to be long? I want to be long at these lows where the previous highs were, right there. I want to be long Microsoft in this area right here, right, because this is my green zone. This is where I want to be long. I want to try to find an entry in here because this is where Microsoft previously could not get above, right? So we had previous rejections. I want to see that turn into a new hold level for this to structure higher. If the market stays strong and Microsoft is showing support down in this zone, that is definitely an area that I would love to see a long entry present itself down in this 444, 443.40 area. That is why I have that alert there, something I will be watching. We'll go to Meta real quick. Meta, you guys can see, is still holding this 499 area. You can see right here, previous highs into this support, which is still holding as a support. So I would continue to watch this 499 area. My only concern I have for you guys here is this 512, right? 512 is definitely heavy above. HIMS, yeah, it's been good. Really no updates here. It just seems to still be on a rope to the upside. You know, all-time highs were at the 25, I think it was the 25.32 is where HIMS was. You guys know we've been talking about this thing since around 20. All-time highs is right, what's this previous all-time high? 25.40. So let me put that level at 25.40. You can see we did have some struggle at that all-time high here the last few days, right? You can see Monday, rejection. Tuesday, we failed it. So a little bit of trouble up there. Careful of that 25.40 up there. Apple, yeah, Apple, I don't like it under 215. I'm not really in love with Apple here. It looks like it's cooling off, which is good, right? Apple's got to cool off. It was straight up. It's going to have to consolidate. This is normal stuff. Really nothing to be that concerned about. But for now, for the short term, this looks like a very clear rejection spot at 215. I really don't like that. So be careful there at 215. If we can get back above 215, that would really be the spot I'd look for it long again. But Apple under 215 is a very heavy level. I would be careful longing into 215. All right, be careful of that level above. Go to Netflix real quick. Netflix is at a very, I think this is all-time highs if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is. Yes. So in Netflix has a weekly chart high. Let me show this to you now. All right, this is the weekly chart. This is back at the all-time highs on Microsoft back in this is back in October and November of 2021 actually, which is pretty wild. The exact weekly high is 691. 690.97, 691 is where I have my level, and you can see right now in the short term, we did reject at that 691 weekly chart high. So, a little bit of careful there, right? A little bit of caution there. I would like this right here, personally. 674. That looks to be the level for Netflix. If we can get this pullback, let's look for 674 on Netflix. All right, let's get a quick peek at that Nasdaq futures. Looks like we are coming back down to that key level here on the hourly chart. You can see we did come back down to that 270, which is attempting right now. It's attempting to hold, but it's definitely not set in stone yet. You can see that 15-minute candle is starting to try. All right, it's trying at that 2270. QQQ right at that 487. Right, look at how beautiful that's starting to try to hold. You can see right here, 487. It's trying. It's too early to try that trade, but you can see it is trying off that 487. That is the level I'd be watching. S&P 500. It's just sloppy, right? It's a little sloppy. It looks like it came back down to like 55.70 there. So I'll actually, this is what I'll do. I'll put a level at 55.70 because I can see that that was sort of lined up with that Nasdaq level hold. So I'm going to have that 55.70 level in place. And then the SPY, it looks like, what is that level for the SPY here for us? 490, 4. All right, my talking has come to an end. I can no longer talk today. 549.50. You can see right there that 549.50 is where I'm going to have that level today as well. Because why am I doing that? Because this 549.50, that ES 55.70 is lining up with where the Nasdaq is trying to hold that 2270 and where the QQQ is trying to hold that 487. So that's going to be a level I definitely want to be aware of on both the ES, the SPY, the Qs, and the Nasdaq. All right? All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope this live stream helped you get some levels for today. I hope you liked some of the, psychology and sort of investment talk as well. I have been a proponent. I've never switched up my beliefs on that long term, and look where it's gotten us. So I'm going to continue to stay to that train, stay in that mindset, right? Long-term investing, continue to dollar cost average. It's worked out just fine over the last 3, 4, 5 years since I started this portfolio, and since really I've been starting to talk about this. So going to continue to do it, all right? Not scared of those aggressive pullbacks, not scared about the market tanking. That's just, one day it'll happen. And when that day happens, I'm sure the live stream and everyone will be like, I told you so. I told you the market will go lower, right? But it is what it is, right? You just make money and you ride out the trend and you follow what the market's doing and you take advantage of those opportunities. Opportunistic mindset, right? Rather than just being in fear all the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you guys could, press that like button for me. Get us to 1,000 likes on the stream. If you want to stay tuned for more, make sure to subscribe. Press the bell notification. You'll get alerted every time I go live. And, yeah, that's about it. Press that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys on tomorrow. I'll see you on tomorrow. Goodbye.
This is the future. Evolution.